Is the secret to effortless weight loss hiding in plain sight? A truth that could fundamentally change your approach to health and finally unlock the body you've always dreamed of, while traditional methods leave you stuck in a frustrating cycle. Imagine discovering that the very rules you've been following might be setting you up for failure, and that a simpler, more intuitive strategy could be your game changer. What if the battle against fat isn't about counting every calorie, but about mastering a single, often overlooked hormone? Prepare to have your understanding of weight gain completely redefined, because renowned metabolism expert Dr. Ben Bikman reveals a groundbreaking truth. Your fat cells don't swell from too many calories. They grow when your insulin levels surge. Dr. Bikman's insights stem from compelling laboratory and clinical evidence. In his lab at BYU, students cultivating fat cells in petri dishes observe a fascinating phenomenon. Even when these cells are bathed in an abundance of calories, everything they could possibly desire for growth, they remain stubbornly tiny. They simply don't enlarge until one crucial element is introduced: insulin. The moment insulin is added to the culture, these formerly minuscule fat cells begin to balloon, accumulating lipid droplets that grow progressively larger over just a few hours. This laboratory observation is powerfully echoed in real-world clinical evidence, which consistently demonstrates how elevated insulin levels are a primary driver of fat accumulation and weight gain. In essence, this research suggests that the root cause of obesity is fundamentally hormonal, rather than solely a matter of behavioral choices like overeating. Therefore, for those striving to lose weight, endlessly tracking calories or pushing through grueling, high-intensity workouts may not be the most effective path. Instead, the focus should shift to adopting metabolic strategies specifically designed to lower insulin levels, as this is where true, sustainable progress truly begins. Perhaps the most startling human evidence supporting insulin's central role in fat storage comes from a tragic and eye-opening condition known as diabulimia, a common eating disorder among young individuals with type 1 diabetes. In this devastating scenario, driven by immense pressure to maintain a lean physique, individuals learn that the precise dose of insulin they inject acts as the absolute gatekeeper for their fat cells. Consequently, they deliberately underdose their insulin, even while consuming significant amounts of food, allowing them to remain as thin as they desire. While this choice leads to severe, life-threatening metabolic complications like hypoglycemia and ketoacidosis, essentially, they are slowly dying. Their bodies remain remarkably lean. This dire human case study profoundly challenges the conventional wisdom that weight gain is purely a function of calorie intake, unequivocally proving that fat accumulation cannot occur unless insulin levels are elevated. It serves as a stark, albeit tragic, testament to the hormonal control over our body composition. While many experts champion fasting as an incredibly effective metabolic tool for lowering insulin, Dr. Ben Bikman acknowledges its therapeutic benefits, but points out its significant practical limitations. It's highly individual, often requires substantial preparation, and demands considerable discipline, making it less accessible for many. As a compelling alternative, he proposes a much simpler yet remarkably effective strategy he terms the insulin trick. This innovative approach revolves around outsmarting your body's natural hormonal rhythms through specific strategic eating habits designed to keep insulin levels optimally controlled. One of the most surprising insights guiding this trick is the often unrealized fact that for most people, insulin levels are already elevated immediately upon waking due to a physiological phenomenon known as the dawn effect. This natural process begins a few hours before typical wake-up time, around 4 a.m., when cortisol levels start to climb significantly. This cortisol surge, a perfectly normal and essential function, primes the body to awaken by prompting the liver to break down stored glycogen and release it as glucose into the bloodstream, thereby increasing blood sugar. Consequently, many individuals experience a degree of insulin resistance in the morning, making this period particularly vulnerable for fat storage. This surprising morning vulnerability explains why even individuals who meticulously practice intermittent fasting by skipping dinner often see minimal results. The period right after waking up is, in fact, the most metabolically precarious for fat gain. Any food consumed within the first 2 hours of waking is far more likely to be stashed away as fat rather than utilized for immediate energy, precisely because your body is navigating this significant hormonal surge of cortisol and insulin. To counteract this, the key is to simply wait it out. Instead of heading straight to the kitchen the moment you open your eyes, harness your body's natural burst of fast-burning energy. Dedicate 20 to 30 minutes to mentally plan your day, enjoy a brief walk, or engage in some light work. Your brain and body are often at their most efficient during this window. Then, when it is time to eat, approach your first meal with mindfulness. Steer clear of sugary, carb-heavy breakfasts, which are tragically often treated like dessert in modern diets. Instead, transform your breakfast into a deliberate ritual, allowing the sights, sounds, and preparation of your meal to gently ease your body into digestion. This simple but profound shift in your morning routine helps reset your metabolism, setting a healthier tone for the entire day. Furthermore, Dr. Bickman emphasizes the critical link between cortisol levels, your circadian rhythm, and stress. Insufficient sleep, for instance, registers as a significant stressor for your body, leading to morning cortisol levels that can be 2 or even 3 times higher than normal. This amplified cortisol, in turn, inevitably drives up insulin levels. When this hormonal imbalance occurs, maintaining discipline becomes an uphill battle. You'll likely feel significantly hungrier, experience reduced self-control, and develop intense cravings for sugary foods. This isn't merely a lack of willpower. Cortisol directly influences the brain, affecting appetite and food cravings by crossing the blood-brain barrier and binding to specific receptors in the hypothalamus and amygdala, regions deeply involved in hunger and reward. It upregulates proteins like NPY and AGRP, which stimulate appetite, while simultaneously inhibiting leptin signaling, thus diminishing feelings of fullness. Moreover, in the amygdala, cortisol boosts dopamine release, intensifying cravings for highly palatable, energy-dense foods. It's also crucial to meticulously eliminate anything from your morning routine that could trigger an insulin spike, and this extends beyond obvious carbohydrates. Surprisingly, even your morning coffee can be problematic. Dr. Ben Bickman explains that caffeine has the potential to raise insulin, especially when consumed alongside carbohydrates. Given that your cortisol is already elevated in the morning, pushing more glucose into your bloodstream, drinking coffee first thing, can provoke a sharp insulin response even before you've eaten. A pivotal study from 2 decades ago meticulously documented how caffeine significantly increases the insulin secretion required when someone consumes glucose or carbohydrates. When a high amount of caffeine is paired with a carbohydrate load, your body demands much more insulin to efficiently clear the glucose from your bloodstream. Therefore, delaying your morning coffee can be a powerful strategy to maintain hormonal balance and prevent early metabolic damage, effectively protecting your body from unnecessary insulin surges right at the start of your day. At its core, Dr. Ben Bickman's insulin trick is about gaining precise awareness of your body's hormonal behavior, particularly recognizing the morning as the most predictable and opportune time to exert influence. This clarity often fades as the day progresses, making your morning routine absolutely crucial as it sets the metabolic tone for everything that follows. The delicate interplay between cortisol and insulin directly shapes your appetite and significantly influences your propensity to overeat. By adopting a well-timed, balanced breakfast strategy, you can proactively kickstart your body's fat-burning processes and signal it to utilize energy rather than store it. While this approach is not a miraculous overnight fix, Dr. Bickman's trick is not designed to be dramatic. Instead, it serves as a remarkably powerful starting point, gently guiding your body into a state where losing weight becomes not only easier, but also far more sustainable, all without the need for extreme, unsustainable effort.